The tennis world has been rocked with Nick Kyrgios shattering the dreams of every other player hoping to take the win. He's been a class act this year, coming close to winning his first title at this year's Wimbledon once more. After all, he defeated the Daniil Medvedev, making it the second time the Aussie has dethroned the number one. There's so much that we need to tell you, so let's dive in. First up, Nick Kyrgios is on his way to the top. Alright everyone, this guy has been playing the best tennis of his entire career recently, and we're not complaining. He wants to go all the way while he can. And after his recent match, we can see that happening for sure. The defending champion and world number one, Daniil Medvedev, has been defeated this past week by Kyrgios, and the tennis world has gone absolutely insane. His display of power allowed him to reach his first quarterfinal in New York. For those who aren't aware, when it came to the US Open, the Australian never made it past the third round. But now he pushed Medvedev off his rank and showed New York his talent. The four-round match was a pleasure to watch and was so anticipated we expected fireworks. It started with both of them saving 3 set points before Kyrgios secured it after 63 minutes. The defending world champion rebounded to win the second set, after which Kyrgios displayed frustration, throwing his racket several times. But he quickly took command of the game in the third and fourth sets and finished off victorious. He walked out saying that it was a tough match with a lot of pressure, but he's happy he's been doing well. Winning at a packed house in New York made him super happy. Bear in mind that Kyrgios is at number 23, whereas his rival was at number 1. Medvedev was easily the toughest competition for him if he were to aim for the top. Getting through this match has made him a serious threat to other contenders. Next, Medvedev almost cried. Okay, now the match was bizarre in many ways. There's so much that happened before and after, so let's start with Medvedev. The 26-year-old was the reigning champion until his defeat. It's heart-wrenching to not only lose a match, but also to lose your top spot. He hadn't dropped a single set at the tournament before the Wimbledon finalists defeated him for the second time in just a month. Previously, Medvedev lost in Montreal, and get this, he was also the defending champion there. We'd be sobbing too, honestly. The 14-time title winner was composed and calm on the court, ending their match with a handshake, but later he admitted that it took him a lot not to cry at the press conference. He tried his best to be okay, but felt completely disappointed in himself. We totally get it. He said he'd just like to rest his mind for a few days after the match. Be sad, look at his phone, and just watch some series. He's just like us, but he plans on bouncing back and taking this as motivation to do better next time. Moving on, Kyrgios got a hefty fine. Now, we feel like Medvedev got avenged, sort of, because the winner of the match got a huge fine yet again. If you've kept up with Nick Kyrgios throughout his career, you know that he has a volatile personality and often gets fined. Well, that happened again. His massive victory against the former champion wasn't as seamless as it seemed. Right after the match, the US Open announced a fine of $4,000 for audible obscenity against the former number one. And this isn't his first rodeo. His highest fine in the tournament is $7,500 for spitting and, again, audible obscenity during the match at Flushing Meadows, and another for $4,000 for racket abuse. Come on now, is this how he blows through his money? Because that's over $15,000 in just fines. His finest season wasn't lacking his habitual fines. His outburst at Medvedev was filled with some not-so-friendly words, for which the commentators apologized. If you're not a tennis fan, the field has mics all around, so anything said could be heard pretty well, which is why screaming out curse words doesn't get you any bonus points with the viewers. Finally, Nick's previous outbursts and performances. His best season yet is becoming better. He achieved his first Grand Slam singles final in July at Wimbledon, where he lost to the legendary Novak Djokovic. He also won the City Open in Washington, D.C. this past month. So, we get it, he's good enough, but the US Open has always been a bit of a challenge for the young star. In his last 8 appearances in the event, he has never made it as far as the 4th round. And now he's in the quarterfinals and has a shot at the title. That's admirable and speaks for his performance this season. Even Medvedev said that Kyrgios had elevated his performance to the same level as Rafael Nadal and Djokovic. While his performance has improved, his behavior remains extremely distasteful. During his Wimbledon final, he accused a woman of drinking during the match. Anna Paulus was then led out of the court, but she claimed she only had a couple of drinks. She had called out Kyrgios before his second serve. Naturally, he cursed and earned a code violation for it. So she sued him for defamation because the match was seen by millions, causing her and her family distress. Rightfully so. Nick needs to straighten his act before he keeps losing money for avoidable events. Now, moving on to other news. First up, Daniil Medvedev's verdict on the match. It's always a very tough moment to come out of a loss, but Medvedev showed great sportsmanship by not only keeping his cool, but also by complimenting his opponent. Following his loss to Nick Kyrgios, the reigning champion admitted that it felt like he was playing against the big three. That's pretty high praise. He explained that it was a high-level match where Kyrgios played like Novak and Rafael. In other words, he did amazing. The 23-seeder star did play at their level and is now tough to compete with. He's had a killer serve, plays well, and has every shot at the #1 title, according to the former #1. The Russian went on to say that if his performance continues to be at the same level, he has a chance to win. But with tough opponents coming up, it won't be that easy for Kyrgios. The Australian athlete defeated Medvedev for the second time, so it's safe to say he knows what works well and what doesn't in a match with him. Following that, we have Rafael Nadal's message to Nick and Daniil. The legendary player gave a shining performance as he demolished Richard Gasquet in straight sets to reach the 4th round of the US Open. Following the match, he gave out a statement that seems like a message to his title rivals, Daniil and Nick. Nadal's performance alone is a threat to them, but he stated that this was his best match of the tournament. He had faced a loss, but came out more confident and with significant improvement in his game. He's delighted to be in the 4th round after a few difficult moments. He's now the #2 seed at Flushing Meadows. His current victory means that he's defeated Gasquet in each of the 18 matches between the duo throughout his career, and will be facing the American Frances Tiafoe next. He's one of the most decorated players in the history of tennis, especially after his 21st Grand Slam title by winning the Australian Open. He's also won the French Open 14 times. He doesn't get tired of winning, and we don't get tired of watching him win. Nick and Daniil both will attempt to get their hands on the US Open title and overtake Nadal's dominance. Will they be able to? We'll find out soon enough. Before we leave, we have Ajla Tomljanovic. The Aussie star joined her ex, Nick Kyrgios, in the US Open quarterfinals. She'll be a running contender in the women's and men's quarterfinal at Flushing Meadows, giving Australia that chance after 40 years. She broke the 18-set winning streak of Ludmila Samsonova with an incredible fight back. She displayed the same tenacious behavior in her win over Serena Williams. Yes, the Serena Williams. She claims that she has to stay as calm as possible even though she's freaking out from the inside. The crowd and odds were against her during her match with the Queen of Tennis, but she beat the legend and ended her career. Poor girl had to delete her social media facing the aftermath. So she won, but at what cost? She did send out a sweet message thanking fans and confessing that all the love was just for Serena. But now she's looking forward to her match with either Ons Jabeur or Veronika Kudermetova. And that's a wrap for this video. What do you think? Will Nick make it to the finals? Let us know in the comments below. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this. We'll see you in the next one.